So I'm Cyrus Todiwala of Cafe Spice Namaste, chef patron, and I'm also chef patron of 3 other establishments. One being Mr. Todiwala's Kitchen, an eponymous restaurant for the first time at the Hilton near Terminal 5. A new restaurant called Asado on Waterloo Road, which is specializing in Goan cuisine. And now we have a little cafe in Victoria Park, just called the Park Cafe. People might have seen me on the big square boxes with Saturday Kitchen, various BBC programs, other TV channels, and most recently with The Incredible Spiceman on BBC Two. And besides all of that, of course, my interests are always sustainable and sustainability. So having grown up in an area of India for a few years, which was pretty deprived at one time, my senses with sustainability were well honed. What we need to do for Britain is to be very Britain focused. And Britain focused means Britain of the future. Britain of the future has to look at sustainability, has to look at longevity, has to look at procurement, has to look at all the issues that we are facing now. The Spirit Group and the pub industry in general could play a very vital role in this conservation of Britain. There's no other country in the world that has a pub industry as well established as Britain has today. As we know, we employ over 1 million people. There's a huge amount of usage of all sorts of civic services, from water to power to heat to light to manpower to rail to roads to traffic to everything, which makes it the ideal choice industry to make an impact for the future of this country. And that is what my message to everybody in the pub industry is. Of course, I'm more familiar with the Spirit Group. They will be the leaders in the field of sustainability for others to follow. And I'm very happy to lend my hand towards that.
Spirit's main aim, a strategic aim, is to be number 1 in the hospitality market, which is a big stretch and a big target. And for us, social responsibility forms part of that, and it touches everyone. So we have 17,000 employees, team players that can all make a difference.
So actually, the person who may be mopping the floor can make a difference.
Exactly.
So does the Spirit as a company, as a group, take advice or take suggestions from people who work right down the ladder?
Yeah, we have regular staff engagement questionnaires that we call the Pulse, which actually environment came up. But the environment came up as we're not doing bad, we're not doing well. It was a middle, which for me was a worry. It just meant that people didn't really understand what we were doing on the environment, and hence why, again, that kicked us off to say,
yeah,
we're doing a lot of things fragmented, but not joined up under one banner. And there wasn't one place for people to go. So if you had an idea as a team player to say, I want to save energy, there wasn't one place where you could go either to get hints or tips or to find out what the company's doing. And so Community Spirit is going to develop that banner to enable our team players, wherever they are, what brand they're in, to actually go to a place and either make a suggestion or get some helpful use of information. And that information can also help them in their homes as well as in the pub. And I think for us, it's both front of house and back of house staff that, even if we can just get the team players that come in the morning not to turn every set of lights on, not turn every fruit machine on until opening time, or not put everything on in the kitchen to warm it up. With 17,000 team players and 1,400 pubs with a managed or lease, that can make a massive difference not only to Spirit but also to the local environment.
Of course it does. And that only starts with each pub's manager having the belief within himself or herself to then filter it down to the people there.
Definitely.
So if you have that control already, I think it's a situation that you can be well and truly ahead of.
But what we found with waste is we launched an award-winning solution on waste, but we soon found that if you don't keep living it, with staff turnover, with changes, it plateaus. Actually,
Yep.
It can slip. So it's making sure that what we do from kick-off now within Community Spirit, we live and breathe it. I think the journey we started was 3 years ago when we started to focus on waste and recycling and increasing recycling via our supply chain. And since then, we've started to now look at energy and rolling out LED lights. And we feel that we've got a platform now that not only can it make a difference, but we can report on it. Before, when we spoke about it, the financial people found it difficult to see it within the accounts. But now everything we do, we aim to keep it simple and be able to report at pub level.
So it can be quantified.
Yeah.
That means there is also a financial or a profit reason behind it too.
Yeah. So for example, waste recycling at pubs, they get a credit for what they recycle by not putting it in the general waste bin. So by doing that, we've managed to reduce the general waste bins, which is a win for the pubs, profit and loss, but also by encouraging them and giving them the value of the recycle it back, it encourages them to recycle more.
So that sums it all up actually and makes it even more worthwhile.
Yeah, and the areas we're looking at now is life cycle costs. So instead of just repairing things over and over, is actually looking where we can reduce the repairs by using our supply chain to take them back to a central point. So the furniture we're sat at here, or the microwaves and the cookers that have been used in the kitchens, whether we can approach in a different way to reduce costs.
From my point, I do believe that the pub sector can lead the way in making a major difference. The one big advantage that you have got is this direct one-to-one rapport with your local customer. So whether he is local, whether he is office working, whether he is whatever, people tend to merge in their favorite pubs, wherever they are nationwide, and which gives them a very personal one-to-one relationship with the pub. And that is where the pub can actually influence an entire group of people, which means the pub could be actually pub groups could be the leaders in instilling the attitudes of sustainability to the wider masses of Britain. I'm so pleased that you are taking the lead on that, because once you take a lead on that, your competitors are going to want to know what you are doing that they are not doing and how they can make a difference. And you will make people aware that they are playing a vital part in actually making Britain a better place to live in future.
Do you think guests are more interested now when they make their choice of where they go for their pint?
I'll tell you the difference that we made in our restaurants is every bit of information that we have notice boards, we put it on the menus we put it on, and what we do, how we are doing, we put it on, and people are now getting interested. They are now asking. They actually try to understand why you're doing what you do, and people actually like it. And we get fabulous comments on TripAdvisor that people are very happy with the fact that we are as conscious as we are in whatever we do.
We recycle thousands and thousands of tons of cardboard, cooking oil, food waste, 4,000 tons of food waste last year, but we didn't tell the guests. So next year, what we want to do is actually put a notice board up to say, we have recycled and this has powered so many thousand houses with green energy. And at least then, the guest that is interested will read it and it's there.
Everybody is gradually gaining consciousness in that. And as that consciousness grows, they will actually demand the change. And if you actually are ahead of that and making the change, you are reversing the demand. You are putting the demand on the customer now to make a change in his lifestyle, because you want to change the way people think and behave and the way people realize that this is the way forward. So you're already on the journey.
Starting.
And you need to get that average man who just walks in for his pint, thumps his thing on the bar to get to understand what you're all about.
That's the challenge.
We have 55,000 pubs in the UK producing over 81 million pints of beer a week, of which 11 million pints are served daily. Spirit produces nearly 300,000 pints of beer a day, over 20 million pints a week, and over an astounding 107 million pints a year. Thank you. Thank you. The pub sector employs over 1 million people. So just try and imagine the impact or the difference you could make. But that's not all. The pub sector contributes over 20 billion pounds to the economy. And the best bit, the pub sector also pays over 11 billion pounds in taxes to the exchequer. That is amazing. Thank you. So, having heard all those statistics, do you really want to make a difference? Do you believe in sustainability? The economic value of that is colossal, but you have to want to do it first. And sustainability has a very long-term benefit for all of us.
It's really important for us to make a decision to drop the corporate out of CSR. All our pubs are based in local communities. We feel that everyone can make a difference. We feel that guests, team players are interested. We want to keep the message simple. We want to make it benefit the pub, and we want to make it benefit the local environment. So what's in it for a pub? We aim to reduce the costs and to improve their P&L. What's in it for the team players? We aim to show them the difference they're making and report on it. What's in it for the guests and the local environment? We do a fantastic job in charities, local and national, and by putting a banner of community spirit over it, we want to be able to shout about it more and also get the team players more engaged in the difference they're making. For the board, it's a positive for everything they do, making sure that every decision we make, what is the social responsibility impact, and to make it positive. It makes business sense because the way we're approaching it, everything has got a payback or a reporting value. Whether you're a supplier right through to the pub, is let's keep it simple, let's keep reporting simple, let's get everyone engaged. And our supplier community play a fantastic part in that by providing us the information at a starting point that we can then feed right through down to pub level. Consumers are becoming more aware. Social responsibility is becoming an important part of making their choice of destination. I think from a public company's point of view, it's becoming more and more important, whether it's through legislation, industry trends, whether it's through wanting to save money. I think it all gives a positive slant on the business performance. And I think as you look at our annual report over the last 4 years, CSR has started from 2 paragraphs that we used to run around and try to fill up through to 2 to 3 pages now of positive messages that are given to guests, investors, anyone who reads our annual reports. My call to action for Spirit Pub Company is to embrace community spirit as the banner for social responsibility, to understand what the part that everyone plays, whether as a board member or on the team players serving the guests. And in time for us to show the positive message to guests when they come to our pubs, for them to feel they're in an environment that is sustainable, that is comfortable, and for them to understand what the journey spirit is on. Supplier community is so important on this journey, and they are the key part of collaboration. So for example, Kuehne Nagel, long-term food supplier, but are now offering many added value services to pubs, delivering point of sale, collecting waste. And this is the journey that we're involving all suppliers on. So we held a Green Day at Trafford Park 3 weeks ago, where 40 of our key suppliers attended, heard about what we're doing on community spirit, but the message was we can't do it on our own, we need their engagement. So that could be growing herbs in our gardens for use on menus, through to wormeries to eat food waste, through to more functional things, i.e. Kuehne Nagel collecting equipment to repair and refurbish, and Carlsberg taking glass away. We've come a long way. 4 years ago we did the bare minimum. We reported what we were legally required to do to get over government legislation and CSR taxes. Since then, what we've done is we've made decisions to build a platform, and this is the launch of the platform to make sure that we focus on the pillars that we can confidently report on. So that's waste, energy and charity. But then this is a kick-off then by using Cyrus as an ambassador to then look at the other areas that we can look at in future months and years.